Hello students, today we have to get idea about very interesting topic from your paper second applications of botany, that is biofertilizer industry. Friends, we'll have to keep in mind bio, that is related with the living, fertilizer, that is the substances which are used to increase the fertility of soil. That is nothing but we have to consider here not only a living organism but the product of the living organisms can be used as a biofertilizer, and we can produce in a large scale. That's why that is known as a industry. Concept and need: types of biofertilizer: nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, rhizobium, BGA, and anabena associated with azolla. The role of phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer, bacteria, fungi, commercial significances of the biofert that we have to learn under this topic. Friends, first of all, we could have knowledge about the its actually definition. What is biofertilizer? Biological active products containing active strains of a specific bacteria, algae, fungi alone or in combination, which may help in increasing crop productivity by way of helping in the biological nitrogen fixation, solubilization of insoluble nutrient material, stimulating plant growth, or in decomposition of a plant residues. Friends, you'll have to keep in mind, you have to concentrate on this definition, and once you could be able to understand the definition, then it would be very easy to understand the meaning of a biofertilizer. We have to keep in mind biofertilizer actually most of time contains the biologically active products containing active strains of a such a microbes, that may be the bacteria, maybe algae, maybe fungi alone or in combination with bacteria, algae, fungi, or sometimes bacteria, algae, or fungi, or mycorrhiza, which may help in increasing crop product. Why we are going to do all these things? Because our main target is to increase the actually fertility of a soil. Once the fertility increases, definitely that will leads to increase in the productivity of a plant is there. So that you have to keep in mind here actually. So we have to use such type of things to increase the fertility of the soil. But how actually fertility of soil increases, how we have to say that the productivity increases? Because the biological active, we have to say that products which are added into the soil, that actually helps in increasing a biological nitrogen fixation, also helps in solubilization of a insoluble nutrients which are required to the plant for its growth, and sometimes again it's stimulating plant growth or in decomposition of a plant residues present in the soil. So we have to say that a lot of we have to say things are there, but we have to understand very easily the if we divide this actual definition into 3, 4, or 5 parts, then it could be able to understand about that. Suppose we have what we have taken, definitely we have taken the biologically active products, but what things are present in that biologically active products? It containing active strains of a specific bacteria, algae, which are helping to increase the fertility of the soil by, we have to say, increasing crop productivity by increasing, we have to say, nitrogen fixation and solubilization of a insoluble nutrients that are present into the soil is easily that made available to the soil for increasing fertility. So you have to keep in mind, this is the actually definition. You have to remember, you have to write often and often to this. Then now what is actually concept of biofertilizer? Uncontrolled use of chemical fertilizer actually responsible to increase the production is becoming highly essential. But here the uncontrolled use is there. Nowadays you have to keep in mind, nowadays actually this uncontrolled use of chemical fertilizer decreases the productivity of the soil. Why? Because health of soil has been damaged or disturbed by the plant, so that soil become a sterile in the sense there is a no any we have to say that the living organisms present into the soil. Only we are applying such a substances like chemical substances, and we know that chemical substances are responsible for killing of a biologically active microbes from the soil, and because of that one soil is going to become a sterile, becoming to a, we have to say that, only matter, there is a material, there is no any type of a living organism present into that one. So liveliness of a soil is a not there. Again, day by day cost of production of these chemical fertilizer increases. Therefore, use of biofertilizer individually and in a various combination can brings about a substantial benefits. Students, only you have to understand this concept. Which concept? That is a concept of a biofertilizer. Here, friends, you have to keep in mind what the things are going to happen because of addition of a chemical fertilizers into the soil. Because of addition of chemical fertilizer of a soil, no doubt for few years, means 2 to 4 years, we will be able to get that there is an increase in the productivity of the soil, increase in the yield of a plant. But after 4 years, although we add a chemical fertilizers into the soil, there we will be able we will be able to not get a increase in the yield but decrease in the yield. That is because the chemical fertilizer will not play any role in case of increasing a productivity of soil, but that will help to damage only the soil liveliness, means the microbes which are helping to the plant for their making available the nutrients, and again I have to say that for the growth of the plant, that are totally killed because of addition of a chemical fertilizers into the soil. So that is the main cause. And again we know that the cost of chemical fertilizer increases day by day, and again that is in the hands of a producer, that is in the hands of a industrialist, and most of time industrialist will sell all these things very costly, because there is a demand of all these things in the market. As demand increases, definitely we have to say that the cost will be increase of all those things. And already I have told you benefits in terms of increasing crop yield as well as cut off cost involved in the purchase of inorganic fertilizer. The use of biofertilizer will improve the soil quality. So what are the benefits of using of a biofertilizer? Most important thing is that less cost, isn't it? Again, we will not purchase the chemical fertilizer, so definitely we are going to save the money from that one. Again, the use of a biofertilizer will improve the soil quality. It will help in a proper crop nutrient management and make the agriculture less input intensive, more eco-friendly, and enhance the credibility of a inorganic fertilizer. Now, what is exactly need of biofertilizer? As already we have seen, improves physical and chemical nature of the soil, adding organic matter to soil. We know that actually because of addition of a biofertilizer, definitely there is a increase in the addition of a organic matter to the soil, solubilizing insoluble nutrient material, increasing the availability and utilization of a vital nutrient. Vital nutrient means the nutrients which are very essential for the growth of the plant. So that are nothing but the vital nutrients, secreting growth accelerator substances. We know that most of times the microbes or biofertilizer whatever we are going to add into the soil helps to secrete the growth accelerator substances. Again, that microbes induces disease resistance in a crop, improves germination percentage of the seed, inducing synchronous flowering and fruiting, isn't it? Means fruiting and flowering will be synchronized because of addition of a biofertilizer, reducing input cost without affecting the total crop production, my friends. So right now, after getting idea about definition, and I have to say that the concept of biofertilizer, we have to get idea about definitely that is of a types of biofertilizer. Here the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. These are the two main types. In that one, nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, rhizobium, blue-green algae, azolla can be used as a biofertilizer, that is of a nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. and another second main, that is a phosphate solubilizing. Here my friends, you have to keep in mind, in case of microbes like some members of bacteria, fungi and members of blue green algae BGA are used, because these organisms having capacity to fix atmospheric nitrogen into a usable form and making available to the plants. Among the bacteria, specific species and strains of the Rhizobium, Acetobacter and Azospirillum are used. Rhizobium in a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria, while Acetobacter and Azospirillum are known as a symbiotic but free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. Among the photosynthetic prokaryotes, algae, also known as a BGA, heterocyst of BGA like Anabena, Alusoria, Calothrys, Nostoc, Cyctonema, Stigonema, and non-heterocyous blue-green algae Oscillatoria, Plectonema are used. VAM, that is a vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. Once again, I'm going to tell you the long form of a VAM, that is a vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. Example: Acaulospora, Sclerocytis, and Gigaspora. This VAM also can be used as a nitrogen fixing microbes. When we will use all these organisms, because this organism shows presence of a specific structure, just like I will tell to you, Anabena, Allosoria, Calothrix, Nostoc, Cyctonema, Stigonema are the BGA blue algae are there, which shows presence of a heterocyst, and the heterocyst shows presence of a nitrogen fixing gene. Nitrogen fixing enzymes are present into that one, and that is helping to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. After fixing that nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, that is made available to the plant for its growth. Here in case of rhizobium, you have to keep in mind the rhizobium consists of active strains of symbiotic nodule forming bacteria rhizobium. My friends, when we will uproot leguminous plant, which are those leguminous plant? Dicot plant. Which are those dicot plants? Take into consideration that the bean is there, isn't it? Bean, then soya bean, again green gram, then red gram. All these in Marathi I will tell to you, these dicotyledon plants, on their roots we can find the nodules, knots, nodules, and in that nodule we will be able to find out the rhizobium bacteria. So symbiotically that bacteria takes shelter from the this leguminous plant, and it provides in we have to say that rent of that shelter as a atmospheric nitrogen, which is converted into usable form to the plant itself. So you have to keep in mind symbiotic association. Both partners are benefited here, isn't it? Rhizobium bacteria, which is present in the root nodule of the leguminous plant, shelter, food material sometimes taken from that one using mechanism of that system, but in place of that one, in we have to say that cost of that one, they are providing, we have to say that the atmospheric nitrogen converted into a usable form that is provided to the host plant. So there is a both partners are benefited. So that is a that is type of a association known as a symbiotic association. This rhizobium bacteria some characteristic, that is a rod shaped gram negative bacteria. These are free living in soil, and when they comes in contact with the leguminous roots, that forms root nodules. There are 7 species which are specific to the host crops. Rhizobium trifolium we have to use for the trifolium. Rhizome phaseolus we have to use for the phaseolus plant. Rhizobium leguminosum we have to use for pisum. R. lupin for lupinus. R. japonicum from glycine. R. meliolota for the trigonella. So there is a specific plant we have to use for the specific plant growth. Friends, today we have got idea about very interesting topic, that is a biofertilizer industry from your paper second, and you have to remember this topic, not only remember but some try to understand some concept of this, will not only understand the concept of that one, but you have to take out information from that one. You have to try to grow all these organisms, and again you have to see the effect of all this on the growth of the plant itself, or we have to say that the how that things are going to change the health of a soil. So again I will tell you what is fertilizer. Fertilizers are the substances which are used to increase the fertility of soil. No doubt chemical fertilizers also doing same role, but they are I have to say that having a side effects. Chemical fertilizers having a side effects, but biofertilizer, there is an, in case of biofertilizer, there is a no any side effect of this, either to the health of the soil, either to the again either to the health of a soil, or we have to say that the health of the crop. So definitely finally comes to us while completing this topic, I will tell to you, my friends, one of the most important but dangerous example in Marathi. पंजाबमध्ये एका नॉन गव्हर्मेंट ऑर्गनायझेशननं 100 बाळंत महिलांचे दुधाचे सॅम्पल्स घेतले, त्याचं पृथक्करण केलं, ॲनालिसिस केलं आणि नंतर त्यांना असं लक्षात आलं की त्या 100 मातांच्या दुधाचं घेतलेल्या सॅम्पलमध्ये युनायटेड नेशननं किंवा वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गनायझेशननं ठरवून दिलेल्या प्रमाणापेक्षा 100 पट विषारी घटक टॉक्झिक सबस्टन्सेस त्या बाळंत मातांच्या दुधामध्ये सापडलं इन द मिल्क ऑफ ए मिल्किंग मदर्स. अँड हाऊ वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम द नेचर दॅट द ग्रोईंग ग्रोईंग किड्स विल हॅव टू बी अ स्टेबल बाय विथ देअर सायकॉलॉजी, इजंट इट. आपल्याला माहिती आहे की आता 5 वर्षाचा मुलगा आत्महत्या करतोय, छोटी छोटे मुलं चिडचिड करतात, त्याचं कारण आहे की लहानपणापासून त्याला आईच्या दुधातसुद्धा विष मिळालं. आणि हे आलं कुठून विष? आईच्या दुधात. तर आईनं खाल्लेलं अन्न कुठं उत्पादित झालं? जमिनीत झालं. ज्या जमिनीत उत्पादित झालं त्या जमिनीमध्ये केमिकल फर्टिलायझर्स टाकली, म्हणजे जमिनीचं आरोग्य आपण बिघडवलं, पर्यायाने वनस्पतीचं बिघडलं आणि पर्यायाने ते खाणाऱ्या मानवाचं बिघडलं, किंवा दूध देणाऱ्या गाई म्हशींचं बिघडलं आणि ते दुधात घटक आले आणि अशा पद्धतीने ही शृंखला चालू झाली. म्हणून विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, बायो फर्टिलायझर इंडस्ट्रीकडे डोळे उघडून बघा. आणि इन फ्युचर there is a lot of chances if you go and develop the biofertilizer industry, or you will be the producer of biofertilizer industry definitely. So you have to look at दिस सिलेबस. या सिलेबसकडे बघत असताना तुम्हाला इंडस्ट्री निर्माण करण्याचं ज्ञान देण्याचा प्रयत्न केला जातो. दॅट यू हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड. विथ धिस इन फ्युचर यू विल थिंक ऑन धिस वन. थँक यू व्हेरी मच.